Hey everyone! Today was one of those days when HOYO dropped an announcement that completely changed player expectations, and as a bonus, massively increased the hype for 4.0. We got confirmation of a new world, the cancellation of Edo Star as the next story destination, and to make everything even more chaotic, a teaser with several silhouettes of possible characters from this new world. In today's video, we're going to break down everything that was shown, discuss the community's main theories, and try to understand what this change means for the game's future. Save up to 25% on Oneiric Shards at lootbar.gg. To celebrate version 3.7, you can grab the 6,480 Oneiric Shard pack, normally $100 in-game, for just $76 on Lootbar. That's 81 pulls, almost guaranteeing you a 5-star for your account while saving you $24. The process is super simple. Just enter your UID, select your server, and receive your crystals in under a minute. No password needed. Lootbar uses official recharge channels, has hundreds of 5-star reviews, and partnerships with several big content creators that you probably know, so everything is completely safe. Lootbar also supports PlayStation 5 and Xbox top-ups. Click the link in the description to get your discount. New users get an extra 10% discount, while returning users get 5%. Before talking about the new planet and the silhouettes, it's important to briefly mention what's happening with the current version. Version 3.8 was officially extended from 6 to 8 weeks, which had already been speculated for some time because of the weird calendar and the lack of information about 4.0. To make up for this extension, the HOYO team published an official apology and announced a global reward of 1,000 Stellar Jade and 10 fuel for everyone. It's not a huge amount, but it's not irrelevant either. It falls somewhere in the middle. It doesn't guarantee 10 full pulls on a banner, but it represents pretty solid help, especially for those trying to complete a pity, recover resources after spending on recent banners, or simply save up for the next character cycle. That said, being completely honest, the most interesting part of the announcement isn't the compensation, but rather the official confirmation of the next world arriving in version 4.0. After weeks of speculation, rumors, conflicting leaks, and lots of confusion about concept changes regarding Edo Star, the game finally confirmed that the next destination in the main story will be a world called Planacardia. We still can't say for sure if Planacardia is a totally new concept created from scratch, or if it's a rework of something that was already in development under the name Edo Star. That part is still pure guesswork. But the fact is, Planacardia is now officially the next stop in the main story. And this completely changes expectations for 4.0, both in terms of lore and setting. Speaking of setting, the teaser that introduced Planacardia didn't show the world explicitly, but gave enough visual clues for people to start analyzing it frame by frame. The scenery style, color palette, and some background details suggest a fusion of more stylized urban elements with a somewhat dreamlike touch, almost as if it's a place that mixes physical reality with something more abstract. Some players are already speculating that Planacardia might have a theater world or spectacle world vibe, where everything revolves around performance, mind games, or staged narratives. But for now, this remains in theory territory. Now, let's get to the point everyone talked about most: the 6 character silhouettes shown in the teaser. This was the perfect fuel for hype and theory wars on social media. The first silhouette on the far left generated the least discussion because practically everyone agrees it looks a lot like Hanami, also known as Sparkle SP, even though it's just a shadow. The haircut, the length, the way she leans, and even the sense of comedic energy the posture conveys really remind us of her characteristic look. Right next to it, a much more complicated figure to identify appears. This second silhouette completely divided the community. Some players argue it could be Yaoguang, citing the general hair shape and a possible head accessory. Others raise the hypothesis that it might be an alternative version of Himeko, perhaps adapted for Planacardia's theme, with more formal or theatrical clothes. Since the outline isn't that obvious, this second silhouette became one of the discussion focal points on Twitter and Reddit, with people comparing angles, old poses, and even shoulder width trying to reach some conclusion. The third silhouette, on the other hand, is practically taken as certain by most people. The body shape, the character's posture, and especially the sword silhouette match Blade very well. The way he positions himself, the head tilt, and the presence of a long object on his back or in his hand really remind us of all the art and animations the game has already shown of him. That's why many people already treat this possibility as almost obvious, even without official confirmation. If it really is Blade, This raises some interesting lore questions, like why he's involved with Planacardia and what his role will be in this new arc. Next, another shadow appears that also became one of the teaser's most talked about points. Some players believe it's an SP version of Aventurine, perhaps showing a different side of the character within Planacardia's theme, with more elegant or refined clothes. Others argue it could be La Mancha, the possible Galaxy Rangers leader who had already been mentioned in leaks for some time. Since none of this was confirmed by HOYO, it's best to stay grounded and remember that, in the end, it could be someone completely different or even a new character nobody had predicted. Right after, a figure appears that was quickly associated with Silverwolf. The pose, the hair outline, and even the impression of someone shorter matched the character's classic silhouette very well. And there had already been some leaks about a possible SP version of Silverwolf in version 4.2, so it's practically confirmed to be her. Finally, the silhouette on the far right ended up becoming the real center of discussions. Many people are convinced it's Yae Sakura, one of the most anticipated characters by those who played Honkai Impact 3rd and follow the versions across HOYO's various games. Since the first leaks about Edo Star, Yae Sakura always appeared as one of the central figures, so the possibility that she was migrated to Planacardia makes sense. At the same time, there's a portion of the community pointing out that the hair and posture outline looks more like Fate Xiao. Personally, I think the strongest bet is still on Yae Sakura. And yet, even with the initial discomfort of seeing version 3.8 stretched for longer than normal, the effect of this announcement was to practically reset the community's overall perception. Instead of just focusing on frustration with the delay, many people started looking directly at what might happen in 4.0, trying to plan resources, speculating about banners, and imagining how Planacardia will connect with everything that's been built so far. We just hope this world doesn't feel rushed or incomplete. Well, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of what HOYO released today. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.